to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today on Around Kansas, we start with a look at Billy Mills and his Olympic 10K anniversary. Then join us for a story about tips on bow hunting. Next, we'll have a poem from Ron Wilson, and we'll end with a look at a song by Tony Teebo. Stay with us. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Welcome to Kansas.
Well, hello again. I'm Frank here in the Wren Radio Studio in Topeka, Kansas, USA. And Deb Goodrich, my co-host, is out there in the high plains in western Kansas. And this is Around Kansas, the show that talks about Kansas, its people, places, and things, and places to visit that make it a great place to live, work, play, and come visit. Well, here we are, the day before Thanksgiving. Wow, already, where's the year gone? Anyway, hope you have a very, very happy Thanksgiving and don't get into too many fights around the dinner table with relatives. You know, that's the joke now, like, don't wake up Uncle Harry, because anyway. So, unfortunately, I think I'm the Uncle Harry now. I don't know. Anyway, we've got some great stories today, but there's an interesting thing. I kind of got curious about green bean casserole. And our producer here, our videologist, is a real fan of green bean casserole. He can hardly wait till Thanksgiving to gobble up green bean casserole. Do you know when it started, where it came from? Well, I didn't either. So, of course, you can Google it and find out. So that's what I did. And green bean casserole was actually created by, let me look at her name here. Her name was Dorcas Riley, and she worked for the Campbell Soup Company, and she came up with the green bean casserole. And of course, it used Campbell's cream of mushroom soup and all of that. And at first, the people at Campbell's didn't think it was, I don't know, but it caught on. And so Dorcas Riley in 1955 invented the green bean casserole. And of course, it has become a staple now at everybody's dinner table for Thanksgiving. I don't know if we're having it or not. Pardon me. We're probably at the stage of our life now where we don't have to cook the dinner. We just show up and eat it. Ain't that wonderful? Okay. So anyway, happy Thanksgiving. Today, Deb's going to have some pretty interesting stories too. She has a story on Billy Mills. Now, I don't know if you remember Billy Mills, but he was an Olympic champion and a Lakota Indian. And he attended KU in Haskell. And so anyway, this being Native American Heritage Month, it's a good story to do, Billy Mills. Also, Deb has a movie, and it's called Thoth's Dragon, and it had its first official screening in Oakley, and apparently to great acclamation. The Fick Fossil Museum held a reception afterward, and it was a great, great evening for the premiere. So anyway, Deb says they'll start scheduling screenings throughout the state. So if you want to see the movie and in your town and want to make an event out of it, let Deb know if you'd like to bring this tale of hunting fossils in the 19th century to your town. Of course, Thoth's Dragon refers to the dinosaurs, of course, that roamed the plains of Kansas way back when. Okay, So a lot of good stories today. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. And we'll get to Deb's stories after you see this.
Hi, I'm Kim Mandering with Hardy Insurance. I'm here to help you with all of your farm and ranch needs. When it comes to protecting your operation and your family, you need a name you can trust at a price you can afford. Call me today or visit hardyaviationins.com.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Billy Mills is beloved in Lawrence, where he spent years at Haskell and KU. This fall, the town demonstrated the esteem in which they hold him by renaming South Middle School for the Olympian. The change went into effect July 1st, but the dedication was held this month. Billy is Oglala Lakota, Sioux, and grew up on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota. He didn't have an easy childhood, according to the website for Running Strong, an organization Billy co-founded to improve the lives of American Indians. Surrounded by poverty and orphaned at the age of 12, he started running to channel his energy into something positive. At Haskell, his gift for running became more apparent as he set records in numerous track events. He went on to earn a track scholarship from the University of Kansas and then served as an officer in the United States Marine Corps. At the 1964 Olympics, he shocked the world and came from behind to win the gold medal in the 10K race. At the time, he set a world record of 28 minutes, 24.4 seconds, and is still the only American to ever win a gold medal in the 10K event. His win was an upset that has been called the second greatest moment in Olympic history. In Lakota culture, someone who achieves great success has a giveaway to thank the support system of family and friends who helped him achieve his goal. Running Strong for American Youth was part of Billy's effort to give back to his community, and he became the organization's national spokesperson. Today, Billy travels over 300 days every year. He visits American Indian communities throughout the U.S. and speaks to youth about healthy lifestyles and taking pride in their heritage. In 2014, Billy celebrated the 50th anniversary of his gold medal win by starting Dream Starter, a grant program to jumpstart the dreams of Native youth. He is the inspiration for the movie Running Brave, starring Robbie Benson, and co-authored a book with Nicholas Sparks using Lakota legends to teach life lessons. Throughout his life, Billy's generous spirit has touched lives around the world. His many accolades are well-deserved. Our profound thanks, Billy. We are so proud to call you a Kansan.
When I look back at my journey from Pine Ridge to the U.S. Olympic team, I actually think of it from Pine Ridge to the Olympics. My journey was based upon the sacredness of culture, tradition, spirituality. My dad said, "Son, you have broken wings. You look beyond the hurt, the hate, the jealousy, the self-pity, way down deeper where the dreams lie. It's the pursuit of a dream that heals broken souls." And I knew I needed a dream to heal a broken soul, so I wrote down gold medal, 10,000 meter run. "120 meters to go. I'm 10 to 12 yards behind." It was like, now, I've got to go now. Lifting my knees, pumping my arms. As I go by him, my arms are like this, and I look, and he's like this. And I saw an eagle in his jersey. It was so powerful. It was like, whoa, wings of an eagle. I can win, I can win, I can win.
Look at Mills! Look at Mills! What a tremendous surprise here! Bill Mills of the United States wins the 10,000 meters!
I'm going to win, met. I'm going to heal a broken soul. I felt my Olympic race was a gift.
I was a junior in high school in 1964. What was really stayed in my mind after all those years, was the feeling when he crossed, the hollering, little boys hollering, and they probably don't know what was going on, but they were hollering because someone from Pine Ridge won That's a memory that I'll never, ever, ever forget.
They were all saying to me to honor myself so I could honor my tribal nation. And if I honored my tribal nation, I'd honor the United States of America and help make the world a better place. And that fit into the most powerful prayer of the Lakota, and we are all related. So I wanted to give back. It's a very sacred feeling to take a virtue and value like the giveaway, and you try to build an opportunity to touch many, many lives. Wanted to get back, and the giveaway was Running Strong for American Indian Youth.
Step into a storybook Christmas at Lecompton's Lane University, where hundreds of trees with thousands of ornaments bring back the magic and mystery of the season. Have an historic Merry Christmas. Fort Wallace was the fightingest fort in the West. Fossils, Indians, soldiers, scouts, wagons, trails, pioneers, stories. Discover the story of Fort Wallace and the people who served here, the people who fought here, the people who settled here. Wallace County, where the past is present.
This segment brought to you by the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center in Oakley.
My Uncle Donald used to build bows, and I recall as a child he would bring them to Sunday dinners, and there would be an archery practice after the meal. I can still feel the polished surface of the wood and how I struggled to pull back the bowstring and keep the arrow in place. I was not cut out to be a bow hunter, it would seem. But many of you are, or would like to be. Fortunately, the Kansas Department of Wildlife Parks and Tourism has some great videos that will guide you in getting started. We're sharing a bit of one here today, but visit the website for more as well as info on the seasons and licenses. Happy hunting and stay safe.
As the days grew shorter and autumn approached, there was a transition in my father's manner. He'd quit the fields early 3 or 4 times each week to practice his archery. He always stepped lightly during this season of hunting, as if invigorated by some magical power. I was quick to his side during those practice sessions. He'd made me a bow. At first, my arrows seldom reached the bales, but as I grew, my range improved. I can still remember my first hunt. I was of age, and he'd made sure I was accurate. I remember lying awake all night just waiting to hear his alarm clock. I've done the same for my son and my daughter, and I've told them both all about him.
For many of us, bow hunting is the ultimate experience. It's a chance to immerse yourself in the sights and sounds and smells of the autumn woods, to experience the solitude of wild country, to feel your heart race as you watch a whitetail at close range. Every time a field brings its own unique rewards. Every hunt rekindles the same satisfaction that bow hunters have felt for centuries. There are no shortcuts to becoming a skilled bow hunter. It takes commitment, dedication, and hard work. Bow hunting is an ancient, time-honored pursuit. Today's bow hunters share a kinship with hunters as far back as the Stone Age. Like our ancestors, we're challenged by the fine-tuned senses and wariness of our prey. We're compelled to continually refine our skills to ensure that we're responsible, humane hunters. The rewards are many. Each trip afield engages all our senses in a rich, colorful, sometimes mysterious natural world where time is measured more by changing shadows than by clock or watch. There's a unique satisfaction in knowing that, as bow hunters, we are an integral part of the natural world.
Welcome to Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in Oakley, Kansas on I-70 at exit 76. I-70, after all, is America's Main Street, and we're right here on Main Street for you. Now that I'm an Oakley resident, I still come in almost every day, and I sit and listen to the conversations of the people around me. You know, the guys who are talking about the big elk they just bagged, or the folks who are taking their kid to college for the first time. People just traveling up and down the highway. Real people, just like you and me. And they find just what I find here, real people to serve them. There's history, there's scenery. We hope you'll stop and see us soon. Welcome to Oakley.
Tarwater Farm and Home is a 40-year-old local family-owned business. Clothing for work and play, seeds and feeds, boots, toys for the kids, and tools you'll need for around the house and farm. And a service department to keep them in top running order. It's a big store, so take some time to see what they have for your farm and home. Tarwater's everyday pricing is like others' sale prices. When you need it, they've got it. Tarwater Farm and Home, 4107 North Topeka Boulevard.
Highways 40, 83, and I-70 come together right here in Oakley. Roads that lead to businesses, to magnificent rock formations, to scenic vistas, to places where legends were made. Roads that lead us home. Discover Oakley, the gateway to Western Kansas.
I had this horse. It was a good horse, except when the wind was blowing above 30 miles an hour. Wind was blowing about 35, 40, and I saddled him up, rode him out to the end of the lane, and I thought, well, he's doing pretty good. And about 6 jumps later, I was laying on the ground and thinking, boy, my shoulders sure hurt. I kept waiting, and it didn't get better, and so I went to an orthopedic surgeon, and that showed that I had torn rotator cuff. And said, well, I have to do surgery. I thought, I farm and ranch by myself. This is not going to work out very well. I'd been sleeping in my recliner for about 2.5 years because it hurt too much to sleep in bed on my side. I'd heard about Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center on the radio. Gotten down there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 11:30 the procedure was all over. They just took some fat out of my side here and spun that down for about 45 minutes and then injected it in my shoulders, and I was on my way. It's something you don't hear about, but I thought it was worth a try, and I'm really pleased. It's really worked out well for me.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Howdy folks, I'm Ron Wilson, Poet Laureate. The cowboy really came alive in legend at the time of the great cattle drives, and the goal of the Texas drovers was to get to Abilene. This poem is in honor of the first cow towns. One of the first cow towns the world had ever seen was the little community known as Abilene. It all began after the Civil War here with the man for beef from the western frontier. A livestock dealer named Joseph McCoy helped bring about the American cowboy. He saw longhorns in Texas running free, and he knew what an opportunity these could be. McCoy looked for a place with grass and water abiding where he could build a big railroad siding. He traveled through Kansas on a railroad route west in search of a town that would suit his request, and when he got to the city of Abilene, he found a place which he had foreseen. It became a cattle shipping point henceforth for Texas drovers bringing cattle north. Thousands of longhorns came up the Chisholm Trail to the city of Abilene to meet the rail. The money flowed and cowboys got wild until the local folks got riled. So in time the cattle trade moved west in the Texas cattle rancher's quest. But in the history of the West, the name still resounds. Abilene, Kansas, one of the first cow towns. Happy trails.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but yet we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Child, let me go now, I got to be going. Don't cry, you're breaking my heart, but I gotta be going now. They're all waiting for me, I'll be gone a while. Just remember that I love you, precious child. Got your light in my heart, and I'm taking it with me. Your mama needs you more now, You got to be brave and strong. I know it's hard, but let me see your smile, and remember that I love you, precious child. Know that you don't understand why I must go away. I have made a promise that I cannot break, but another promise goes to you. I promise I'll return, and I'll bring back more love than what I take. Oh, child, let me go now, I got to be going. Don't cry, you're breaking my heart, but I gotta get going now. One more kiss and hold me closely for a while, and remember that I love you, precious child. One more kiss and hold me closely for a while. Remember that I love you, precious child.
Again, happy Thanksgiving. I'm Frank, she's Deb, and we'll see you somewhere around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
We're the best part of